You mentioned the question of the 2017 reappraisal that was conducted, and I think that's oftentimes a very simple and confusing point for taxpayers to understand, that they receive a reappraisal and they think, well, my property values went up by $20,000, and so taxes to the schools are automatically going to go up. And first off, that isn't the case. House Bill 920 controls that, and their taxes may not necessarily go up. In some cases, they can a little bit. I actually have an example here for you to take a look at. In the example on the screen, we came up with just a fictional school district with 4 residents, 4 properties, and those properties were initially valued at $100,000 apiece, and those taxpayers each paid in $875 to generate $3,500 in operating revenue for the school district. Along comes an appraisal, and all of the property values move up equally to $150,000 each. In that example, the taxpayers would still only pay $875 annually for each property. The reason for that is House Bill 920 controls the revenue to the school district so that we don't grow with inflation. Now, what can happen, and this goes to the same example with the same 4 residents. On the screen now we've got properties that grow differentially. So the first property in the example has doubled in value. It's gone from $100,000 to $200,000. But you can see that all 4 of those properties actually increased in value. So what happens is the extreme example, the property that has doubled in value, goes up by a little bit in terms of the impact of that reevaluation. But you see even Mrs. Robinson's property in our example actually increased in value by $20,000. It went from $100,000 to $120,000, but her taxes declined from $875 annually to $636. Why is that? Because the school district can only still realize $3,500 from that levy that was passed. So there's an equalizing or balancing effect, and the extreme here is the property that doubled in value. So it's kind of a misnomer to jump immediately to a conclusion to say, well, my property values went up, my taxes for the schools must automatically be going up. At the end of the day, the school district still realizes only the tax value that was originally approved by the voters.
Thank you for that explanation. You could share that often with everyone, and people will still have questions about it. But,
absolutely. But it can be a confusing concept.
It's a confusing concept, but of course it comes from the Ohio state government, so that we can say that
right.
maybe they need to get their act together a little better down there. We have more